Good morning, students. Welcome to our online classes. Students, today in this video, we are going to cover the topics related to the chapter 1, that is Challenges of Nation Building, from the book that is Politics in India Since Independence. So, this topic today we are going to complete, and this is the concluding topic of this chapter. With this topic we are completing this chapter, and this topic is very important from the examination point of view, from the question answer point of view, as well as objective questions point of view. Students, lot of history is there in this topic about our India, that how the states were created in the place of the provinces which were there during British rule. So far we have completed about the integration of princely states in the previous video. So in this video we will read about the reorganization of states, how the states were reorganized in our country India, what was the process, what were the challenges, what are the views of the people, of the leaders at that time. So students, the process of nation building did not come to an end with the partition of our country India and with the integration of the princely states. What I mean to say is, the process of nation building of our country India will not be ended simply with the partition of our united India and the integration of princely states. Now there is another important challenge which was there in front of us, that is how to create the internal boundaries of various Indian states, how to draw the internal boundaries, territories of many Indian states. So now the challenge was to draw the internal boundaries of the Indian states. This was not just a matter of administrative divisions. Dividing India into number of states, drawing the boundary of India into number of states is not only meant for our administrative convenience, or it's not a matter of administrative, it is not a administrative matter. We are not doing administrative divisions of India. The boundaries has to be drawn, or I can say these boundaries has to be drawn in such a manner or in a way so that the linguistic and the cultural plurality, the linguistic and the cultural plurality of the country, we are having different cultures, cultural plurality of the country could be maintained or could be reflected without damaging the unity of our country India. That means the challenge of nation building is not ended with the partition of India and integration of princely states. Another challenge was started in front of us, that is how to draw the internal boundaries of different states in our country India. This is not only meant for what? The administrative purposes. Okay. Now, generally these boundaries has to be done based on the linguistic divisions and cultural plurality of our people. And we have to draw these boundaries in such a manner that the unity of India will not be affected. Our nation should not be disintegrated once again. During colonial rule, the state boundaries were drawn either on administrative convenience. I repeat, during British rule, during colonial rule, the boundaries of the states or the boundaries of the provinces are drawn for the administrative convenience of the British rule. For example, Bengal. Actually, Bengal was a very big province. They divided into two parts, Bengal, for administrative convenience. But actually, their main aim is to divide the unity of Bengalis. But anyhow, it was divided into two parts. So during colonial rule, the states or the provinces boundaries were drawn either for the administrative convenience or simply it was a coincidence with the territories that were annexed by the Britishers. Maybe it is a coincidence that whatever state or province they annexed, that was remained as it is. Okay, or I can say the territories ruled by the princely states. Some are ruled by princely states. Some they have drawn for administrative convenience, and some provinces states are there as it is, which the British people were people conquered in India. So at the time the picture was quite different. The political setup was quite different. The geographical and political setup was different. Okay. Now, when our national movement was going on, when we are fighting with the Britishers, at that time our Indian nationalist leaders, they decided that soon after independence, they will form the states based on the language, that is called linguistic basis. So it was decided during the freedom movement only by our nationalist leaders that if they will get independence to their country India, then they'll divide the states on the basis of what? Language. Okay, and after independence, when we got independence, in fact, after independence, it is in the Nagpur session, the meeting of Nagpur. In the Nagpur session, which was held in 1920, Nagpur session 1920, the principle of carving the states on the basis of language was being recognized as the basis for reorganization of our Indian states. So I repeat, it was during the Nagpur session, it was decided, agreed by all the people that states in India will be created on the basis of language. Okay, now for the same purpose, many provincial congress committees were created. By linguistic zones, which did not follow the administrative divisions of the British India. Okay, but so this was the idea of the Indian nationalist leaders before independence. But things changed after independence and partition. Things are being changed after independence and partition of our country. Our leaders felt that the carving out states on the basis of language might lead to what? Disruption and integration in our country. Disruption and disintegration in our country India. Soon after independence and partition, things are being changed. Okay, now the leaders they felt that carving of states on the basis of language or linguistic might lead to the disruption and the disintegration of our country India. It was also felt that this would draw attention away from other social and economic challenges that our country was committed to do. If you are thinking about the creation of states on the basis of language, then we may neglect some of our social and economic problems which we are facing at that time, and the government or the leaders which are committed to solve these problems. We may deviate from that one. The central leadership, the central government, the central leadership decided to postpone this creation of states on the basis of language for some time. I repeat, the central leadership of our country at that time, they decided to postpone the creation of these states on the basis of language for some time. You may ask why. The need of postponement was also felt because the fate of the princely states was not yet decided. Because so many princely states are there 565. Now their fate was not decided whether they join with Indian Union or Pakistan or they will remain independent. It was not yet decided. That's also one of the reasons for the postponement. Also, the memory of partition was still fresh among the minds of the people. The memory of partition was fresh in the minds of the people. So due to these three reasons, our Indian central government have postponed the idea of creating states on the basis of language for some time. Okay, now students, listen carefully. Reorganization of states. As I told you, During colonial rule, the state boundaries were often either on administrative basis or administrative convenience or simply coincided with the territories which they annexed or the territories ruled by the princely states. Our national movement had rejected these divisions as artificial boundaries. Our Indian leaders have rejected this concept of what? Division as artificial boundaries and had promised that the linguistic principle as the basis for formation of states. I told they accepted that states will be created on the basis of language. Our leaders felt that carving out states on the basis of language might lead to our country's disruption, disintegration. Hence, the central leadership has postponed the idea of carving the states on the basis of language for some time because of the three reasons. One is the partition of India was still fresh in the minds of the people. Moreover, the fate of princely states were not yet decided. Moreover, it leads to disintegration of our state. This decision of the national leadership was challenged by the local leaders and the people. Whatever decision was taken by the central leadership, that was challenged by the local leaders and the people. For example, Potti Sri Ramulu, POTTA, Potti Sri Ramulu, a Congress leader at the time. Potti Sri Ramulu, a Congress leader at the time, was a veteran. Veteran means what? Died. Veteran of Gandhian principles. He always believed Gandhiji's principle, veteran of Gandhism or Gandhian principle, went on an indefinite fast unto death. That means fast unto death means what? Amaran Anshan, without taking water and food for many days. So he demanded for a separate state for Andhra people, for Telugu speaking people on the basis of language. Earlier, Andhra Pradesh was a part of Madras Presidency. Both the Tamils and Telugu, the present Tamil speaking and Telugu speaking people were living together in the Madras province. At that time, we people are called Madrasis, not Telugu speaking people, because we are in Madras Presidency. So here Potti Sri Ramulu, a Congress leader and a veteran of Gandhian, went on indefinite fast unto death or to lead to his death for the creation of separate state for Telugu speaking people called Andhra Pradesh or Andhra State. That means he demanded to separate to create a special state for Telugu speaking people called Andhra State. And this person died after 56 days of this fast unto death. So he is the first person who demanded from southern point for creating a state on the basis of language. That's the Andhra State for Telugu speaking people from Madras Presidency. And this person died after 56 days. Finally, the Prime Minister of India at that time, Pandit Nehru, announced the formation of a separate Andhra State. The central government has to consider the demand by this person, Congress leader, Gandhian follower. The Prime Minister agreed for creation of separate state for Telugu speaking people from Madras Presidency. And this Andhra State was created on December 1952. Okay. Now, so it was agreed by the Prime Minister of India, Andhra State in December 1952. The formation of Andhra Pradesh spurred the struggle for making the other states on linguistic lines. When Andhra State was created, at that time in Andhra State the capital was Kurnool. Kurnool was the capital of Andhra State at that time. It was created in 1952 December, but it came to existence on 1953 with the state capital Kurnool. At the time, the Telangana was not a part of Andhra State. Later in 1956, Telangana was also added into Andhra state. Then it formed Andhra Pradesh state. Andhra Pradesh state in 1st November 1956. In 1st November 1956. So in the examination they may ask, dash state was created first on linguistic basis, means Andhra state, not Andhra Pradesh. And the state consists only the Rayalaseema part and coastal Andhra, not Telangana. Telangana was added in 1956 and then it formed Andhra Pradesh state. So once this Andhra state was created, the other state people, the other local people of different places, they also started demanding for creation of separate state for them based on the language. So the formation of Andhra state spurred the struggle for making the other states on linguistic lines in other parts of the country. Okay. These struggles forced the central government, all these struggles forced the central government in appointing a state reorganization committee, SRC, States Reorganization Committee. So when all the people in different parts of country started demanding for creating a separate state for them on the basis of language, then ultimately the central government bound to create a separate committee that's called States Reorganization Committee, or I say State Reorganization Commission, I can say, in 1953. So the question is, in which year State Reorganization Commission was formed? 1953 by the central government. 1953 by the central government. To look into the question of redrawing, of the boundaries of the state. What is the work of this State Reorganization Committee? The task given to the State Reorganization Committee was to carve the boundaries of states on the basis of language. One of the most important concerns in the early years was that the demands for separate states would endanger the unity of the country. Many critics, they raised their voice. They said that if we goes on creating the states on the basis of language, then a day may come that our unity, our integrity will be lost. India will be once again disintegrated. So people had fear that once again our country will be divided into number of states on the basis of language. So if they are created on the basis of language, then the central government may not get cooperation from all the states. So that was a fear also there at the same time. It was felt that the linguistic states may foster separatism. That is also one of the danger. If we create the states on the basis of language, then the people of the state, they may start demanding separatism, to declare their state as a separate country also in future. So it was felt that the linguistic states may foster separatism and create pressures on the newly founded nation. It was hoped that if we accept the regional and linguistic claims, I repeat, it was hoped that if we accept the regional and linguistic claims of all regions, the threat of division and separatism would be reduced. But many people, they thought positively. They thought that if we agree the demands for the people of the local, or the local people's demand for creation of states on the basis of their language, then hope that in future they may extend their support, they may extend their cooperation for the national unity. So finally, in our country India, all the states were created step by step. All the initially there were really less number of states, 12, 14, 17, like that goes on. At present 28 states were there. Okay, so all the states were created on the basis of language, and the fear of the critics or some people who thought that the India's unity will be disintegrated have not happened. Though we created states on the basis of language, but still all the states today in India are living together, they are united, and we are having unity and integrity in our country India. Okay, and in this State Reorganization Commission played an important role in creating states on the basis of language. Okay students, now so many people, many leaders, they acted or played an important role in the formation of this states, or carving out the boundaries of states on the basis of language. So students, this is the end of this video, or end of this chapter, I can say. In this way we are completed the first chapter of the book The Politics in India Since Independence, that is the challenges of nation building. So in the coming videos we will come up with some other chapters. Till then, take care.